Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the worst decision of your entire life could happen in less than 2 days? Not 5 years down the road when things got complicated. Not after endless fights about money or kids or whose turn it is to do the dishes. Not even during some midlife crisis when you're questioning everything. But right now. Right when everything is perfect. When the person you love is sleeping peacefully next to you, trusting you completely. When your future is mapped out, clear as day. When friends are already buying plane tickets to celebrate with you. This is the story of Amara. 28 years old, beautiful, smart, loved. And 48 hours away from marrying a man who would have given her the world. But here's what nobody tells you about temptation. It doesn't show up dressed like the devil. It shows up dressed like your past. Smiling, familiar, safe. And sometimes, all it takes is 7 words on a screen to burn your entire life to the ground. This isn't just about cheating. It's about the lies we tell ourselves. The lines we swear we'll never cross until we do. And the split-second choices that echo for decades. Because Amara didn't plan to destroy her life. Nobody ever does. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My mother said I wouldn't even reach 50 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show her that these tales matter. Please subscribe to my channel and let's keep breathing life into stories that were never meant to stay silent. Now, let's continue. Her name was Amara Thompson. If you met her, you'd think she had it all figured out. Career, thriving. She was a marketing director at a firm downtown, the kind of woman who walked into meetings and commanded respect without saying a word. She'd worked her ass off to get there too. Started as an intern making coffee and copies, stayed late every night, learned everything she could, and climbed her way up through talent and sheer determination. By 28, she was leading campaigns for major clients, managing a team of 12, and pulling in a salary that made her parents proud. Family, close-knit. Her parents had been married 35 years. Her dad still opened car doors for her mom. Her mom still packed his lunch every morning even though he told her she didn't have to. That's the kind of love Amara grew up watching. The steady kind, the reliable kind, the kind that doesn't quit when things get hard. Her little sister, Kennedy, was 24 and looked up to Amara like she'd hung the moon. Every major decision Kennedy made, she called Amara first. Should I take this job? Does this guy seem serious? Am I crazy for wanting to move to New York? And Amara always had answers, always seemed like she knew what she was doing. That's the funny thing about being the oldest. Everyone assumes you have your life together, even when you're falling apart on the inside. And Daniel was the kind of man mothers pray their daughters find. Not flashy, not trying to be anyone he wasn't. Just solid. They met 4 years earlier at Chelsea's engagement party, one of those warm September evenings where the air smells like possibility and everything feels right. Amara almost didn't go that night. She'd been single for 2 years after a brutal breakup with Marcus, and honestly, she was tired. Tired of small talk, tired of first dates that went nowhere, tired of wondering if this guy or that guy might be the one. She'd started to make peace with the idea that maybe she was meant to be alone. Maybe she was too picky, too damaged, too something. But Chelsea begged her to come. Please, Amara, you never go out anymore. Just come for an hour, have one drink. If you hate it, you can leave. So she threw on a sundress, did her makeup halfway, and showed up with 0 expectations. The party was in Chelsea's parents' backyard. String lights, a jazz playlist someone had clearly spent hours curating, that specific kind of laughter that happens when old friends gather. Amara grabbed a glass of wine, and found a corner to observe from. That's when she saw him. Daniel was standing by the drink table, laughing at something the groom had said. He had kind eyes. That's what she noticed first. Not his height, though he was tall, maybe 61. Not his clothes, though he was dressed well in that effortless way some men have. Not his jawline or his smile, or any of that superficial stuff. And when he caught her staring, he didn't do that cocky head nod thing guys do. He didn't smirk or wink or try to be smooth. He just smiled, genuinely. Like he was happy to see her even though they'd never met. 10 minutes later, he was standing next to her. I'm Daniel, friend of the groom. Amara, friend of the bride. Glad one of us knows someone here. I've been nodding along to conversations about wedding venues for 20 minutes, and I have no idea what a sweetheart table is. She laughed. It's the table where the bride and groom sit during the reception. See, that makes so much more sense now. I thought it was like a dessert thing. They talked for 3 hours that night. About everything and nothing. Books, he loved historical fiction. She loved psychological thrillers. Childhood memories. He grew up in Oregon. She grew up in Virginia. That weird phase everyone went through in middle school. He was attempting to become a skateboard prodigy, despite having zero coordination. Their dreams. He wanted 3 kids and a house with a big backyard where he could teach them to ride bikes. She wanted to travel to Italy and learn to make real pasta from a grandmother in Tuscany. He told her about his job as a civil engineer. He designed bridges, actual bridges that people drive over every day. I like the idea that I'm building something that lasts, he said. Something that connects people, helps them get where they need to go. She told him about her work in marketing, how she loved the creativity of it but hated the politics. Everyone's trying to take credit for everyone else's ideas. It's exhausting. Sounds like you need a job building bridges instead. Is that your pitch, your recruiting? Maybe. Or maybe I just like talking to you, and I'm trying to find reasons to keep doing it. Smooth but sincere. That was Daniel. He didn't try to kiss her that night. Didn't ask for her Instagram or Snapchat, or try to play it cool. He asked for her number and texted her the next morning. Thanks for making that party actually fun. Coffee sometime. No games, no 3-day waiting period, no mystery. Just honesty. And that's how they started. Their first date was at a coffee shop in Georgetown. They talked for 4 hours and closed the place down. The barista had to literally ask them to leave. The second date was a walk along the Potomac. He brought sandwiches. She brought a blanket. They sat and watched the sunset, and he told her about his parents' divorce when he was 12. It messed me up for a while, he admitted. Made me realize that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice you make every day. My dad stopped choosing my mom, and everything fell apart. Is that why you're so intentional? She asked. What do you mean? You don't do anything halfway. Even the way you talk, you think before you speak, like you're making sure you mean what you say. He smiled. Yeah, I guess I'm like that. My ex used to say I was too serious. Your ex was an idiot. He laughed. She wasn't. She just needed someone more spontaneous, someone who didn't plan everything. And what do you need? He looked at her for a long moment. Someone who stays. Third date, he cooked her dinner at his apartment. Chicken parmesan, homemade. He'd spent 3 hours making the sauce from scratch. You didn't have to go through all this trouble, she said. I wanted to. I like doing things for people I care about. We've been on 2 dates. I know, but I already know I care about you. Most guys would have sounded creepy saying that. But Daniel, he just sounded honest. By their 6th date, Amara knew. This was different. He wasn't like the guys she dated before, the ones who were all passion and no follow-through. Daniel showed up consistently, intentionally. He texted good morning. He called when he said he would. He remembered the little things she mentioned in passing. When her car broke down, he picked her up from work without being asked. When she had a bad day, he brought her favorite ice cream and let her vent without trying to fix anything. When she got the flu, he showed up with soup and medicine and sat with her watching terrible reality TV even though he hated it. "You don't have to stay," she said, sniffling into a tissue. "I'm gross right now." "You're not gross, you're sick, and I'm not leaving." That's when she started to fall. Not because of grand gestures, but because of the small, consistent ones. By year 2, they'd moved in together. A small apartment in the city, with terrible parking but great light in the mornings. They fell into a rhythm. Coffee together before work. She liked hers black, he liked his with way too much cream. Trader Joe's runs on Sundays where they'd spend an hour debating which frozen meals to try. Netflix and takeout on Friday nights, usually Thai, sometimes pizza. Morning runs on Saturdays, well. She ran, he jogged slowly beside her, because he hated running but loved spending time with her. They fought sometimes. About normal things. He left dishes in the sink. She left clothes on the floor. He wanted to save more money. She wanted to travel more. He was a planner. She was spontaneous. But they never went to bed angry. That was their rule. No matter how frustrated they got, they talked it out before sleep. By year 3, Amara's friends were asking when he'd propose. Her mom kept dropping hints. Kennedy would text her, "So when's the ring coming?" And honestly, Amara wondered too. Not because she was in a rush, but because everything felt right. Stable, secure, safe. Like she'd finally found the person she could build a life with. Daniel proposed on a random Tuesday in March. No elaborate plan. No flash mob or skywriting or photographer hiding in the bushes. They were making dinner, spaghetti, her favorite, and he just stopped stirring the sauce and looked at her. "What?" she asked, laughing. "Do I have something on my face?" "No, I don't want to do this with anyone else." "Do what? Make spaghetti?" "Everything, this, life, all of it." Then he pulled a ring out of his jeans pocket. Simple, beautiful, a single diamond on a white gold band, exactly her style. She said yes before he finished asking the question. They called their families that night. Her mom cried happy tears. His dad said, "About damn time, son." Kennedy screamed so loud through the phone that Amara had to hold it away from her ear. Chelsea, who'd introduced them, took full credit. "I knew it. I told you he was perfect for you." The wedding was set for June 15th. 8 months away. Enough time to plan, but not so far off that it felt unreal. They picked a venue, a garden estate outside the city with string lights and wildflowers, and a view of the mountains in the distance. Amara found her dress on the second store visit. She'd been dreading the whole say yes to the dress experience, worried it would be overwhelming. But the moment she put on this one, ivory lace with a simple silhouette and a low back, she knew. Kennedy cried. Her mom cried. Even the consultant cried. "That's the one," her mom whispered. And it was. Daniel wrote his vows 3 months early because he said he didn't want to rush something that important. He kept them in a notebook on his nightstand and wouldn't let her see them. "You'll read them on the day," he said. "I want them to be a surprise." Her bridesmaids threw her a bridal shower in April. Wine, laughter, bad romance advice from her Aunt Carol, who'd been divorced twice but still considered herself an expert. "Marriage is like a garden," Carol slurred into her third glass of Chardonnay. "You gotta water it, fertilize it. Sometimes you gotta pull weeds." "Are the weeds other women?" Kennedy asked, trying not to laugh. "The weeds are his bad habits, honey. Set boundaries early." Everything was falling into place. The flowers were ordered, peonies and garden roses, white and blush pink. The caterer was confirmed, a tasting menu that had made both of them extremely happy. The photographer was booked, a woman whose portfolio made everything look like a fairy tale. The band was hired, a jazz quartet for the ceremony, a DJ for the reception. Even the weather forecast looked perfect, sunny, 75 degrees, not a cloud in sight. Friends kept saying the same thing: "You two are perfect together. Your relationship goals. I want what you have." And they were. On paper, in practice, in every measurable way. Daniel loved her fully. Completely. Without reservation. He told her every day. Not just "I love you" in passing. But "I love the way you scrunch your nose when you're concentrating. I love that you sing off-key in the shower and don't care. I love that you're the first person I want to tell when something good happens." She loved him, mostly fully. That's the part she didn't say out loud. Not to her friends, not to her journal, not even to herself most days. But deep down, in a place she tried not to visit, there was a question. A quiet, dangerous question. Is this all there is? Not because Daniel wasn't enough, but because something in her missed the chaos. The unpredictability. The feeling of not knowing what came next. Peace felt like winning. But sometimes, when she was alone with her thoughts, it also felt like settling. She hated herself for thinking that. Daniel was everything she should want. Everything she'd prayed for after Marcus destroyed her. So why did she feel like she was suffocating? 72 hours until the wedding. The apartment had transformed into a command center. Her maid of honor, Jasmine, was steaming the bridesmaids' dresses in the living room, cursing under her breath every time the steamer sputtered. "I swear to God, if this thing breaks right now, I'm driving to Target and buying an iron." "There's one in the hall closet," Amara called from the kitchen. "Why didn't you tell me that 20 minutes ago?" "I forgot." Her mom was on the phone with the caterer, stress-eating crackers straight from the box and pacing the length of the kitchen. "Yes, I understand there's a dairy-free option, but we have 3 people with tree nut allergies, and I need to make sure." Her sister Kennedy was frantically assembling welcome bags for out-of-town guests, muttering the checklist under her breath. Water bottle check, snacks check, map of local restaurants check, Tylenol for the hangovers check. 72 hours until the wedding. The apartment had transformed into a command center. Her maid of honor, Jasmine, was steaming the bridesmaids' dresses in the living room, cursing under her breath every time the steamer sputtered. "I swear to God, if this thing breaks right now, I'm driving to Target and buying an iron." "There's one in the hall closet," Amara called from the kitchen. "Why didn't you tell me that 20 minutes ago?" "I forgot." Her mom was on the phone with the caterer, stress-eating crackers straight from the box and pacing the length of the kitchen. "Yes, I understand there's a dairy-free option, but we have 3 people with tree nut allergies, and I need to make sure." Her sister Kennedy was frantically assembling welcome bags for out-of-town guests, muttering the checklist under her breath. Water bottle check, snacks check, map of local restaurants check, Tylenol for the hangovers check. "Should we add mints?" Kennedy's boyfriend Travis asked, trying to be helpful. "Always add mints, people will be drinking." Daniel was at his parents' place across town, probably dealing with his own version of chaos. His mom had texted Amara 17 times that morning with questions about the seating chart. "Can we move Aunt Linda away from Uncle Frank? They haven't spoken since Christmas 2019. Is there a kids' table, or are children sitting with parents? Do we need to label the vegetarian meals?" Amara had responded to all of them with the patience of a saint, even though inside she wanted to scream. She should have been excited. She should have been glowing, overwhelmed with joy, counting down every second. Everyone kept telling her this was the happiest time of her life. Enjoy every moment. It goes by so fast. You'll never forget this feeling. But instead she felt numb. Not unhappy. Not even anxious, really. Just disconnected. Like she was watching her life happen to someone else through a TV screen. She'd felt this way for weeks but kept pushing it down, telling herself it was just stress. Wedding planning is stressful, everyone says so. The timelines, the vendors, the family drama, the money. It's normal to feel overwhelmed. That's what she told herself. But this wasn't overwhelming. This was something else. Something she couldn't name. That's how temptation often begins. Not with dissatisfaction, but with a vague restlessness you can't explain. That night, as the chaos finally died down and everyone went home, Amara sat alone in the bathroom, scrolling through her phone, pretending to be busy. Daniel had gone to bed an hour earlier. "Big day tomorrow," he'd said, kissing her forehead. "Rehearsal at 4, dinner at 6. We should both get some sleep." But she couldn't sleep. Her mind was racing with nothing and everything at once. She opened Instagram, scrolled past engagement photos from people she barely knew, workout videos, food blogs, ads for things she didn't need. Then she opened her text messages, scrolled past the bridal party group chat, past vendor confirmations and RSVP updates, past her mom's 17 questions and her sister's memes. And that's when her screen lit up with a new notification. A name she hadn't seen in 7 years. Marcus Reed. Her stomach flipped. Not from love. From memory. Marcus. God, Marcus. Her college boyfriend. Her first real love. Her first real heartbreak. The guy who'd made her feel alive and insane in equal measure. The guy who'd taught her what passion felt like and what destruction felt like too. They dated for 2 years at Georgetown, the kind of relationship everyone either envied or worried about depending on the week. Sophomore and junior years, when everything felt heightened and dramatic and like it mattered more than it probably did. He was an artist, a musician, the kind of guy who showed up at her dorm at midnight with a guitar and grand declarations. "I wrote this for you," he'd say, playing some half-finished song about her eyes or her laugh or the way she made him feel. She'd loved it at first. The attention, the intensity, the feeling that someone saw her as a muse instead of just a person. But intensity burns. And Marcus burned everything he touched. He was unreliable. Said he'd pick her up at 7, but showed up at 10. Made plans, forgot about them, got mad when she was upset. He was jealous. Didn't like it when she hung out with guy friends. Accused her of flirting when she was just being friendly. Went through her phone once when she was in the shower. He was emotionally unpredictable. Some days he loved her more than life itself. Other days he picked fights about nothing and disappeared for days. Their relationship was a cycle. Blow-up fight. Dramatic breakup. Tearful reunion. Honeymoon period. Repeat. They broke up and got back together 4 times before she finally ended it for good during senior year. It was March. They'd been fighting about something stupid. She couldn't even remember what now. And she just snapped. "I'm done," she said. "I can't do this anymore. This isn't love, Marcus. This is chaos." "You'll be back," he said. "You always come back." "Not this time." She blocked his number, blocked him on social media, deleted every photo. Spent the last 2 months of college rebuilding herself. It nearly destroyed her. She'd spent the entire summer after graduation in therapy, piecing together who she was outside of that relationship. learning to trust her own judgment again, learning that love shouldn't hurt that much, swearing she'd never let anyone have that kind of power over her again. And she hadn't. She dated casually for a couple of years. Nice guys, safe guys, guys who texted back and showed up on time and didn't make her feel crazy. But nobody is serious. Not until Daniel. And now, 3 days before her wedding, Marcus's name was on her screen. She stared at it for a long time. Her finger hovered over the notification. She should have deleted it. Should have blocked the number without even reading the message. Should have told Daniel or Jasmine or her mom, or literally anyone, so they could talk sense into her. Instead, she opened it. The message was short. "Hey, I heard you're getting married. Just wanted to say congratulations. Hope you're happy." That was it. No flirting. No confession. No hidden agenda. Just acknowledgement. But here's the thing about exes reaching out right before major life events. It's never really about congratulations. It's about reopening a door you thought you'd locked forever. It's about testing whether that door is still locked. It's about them, not you. Amara read the message 3 times. Her heart was racing, and she hated that it was. She told herself it meant nothing. That it was just nostalgia. That she was a grown woman, engaged to a wonderful man, and this was just an old friend being polite. But it wasn't anything. And she knew it. Because if it were nothing, she would have deleted it immediately. She would have shown Daniel and laughed about it. "Look, my ex just texted me. Isn't that weird?" But she didn't do that. She hid it. And hiding something is the first sign you know it's wrong. She drafted 5 different responses and deleted them all. "Thanks, I am. Too short, too cold. Thanks, hope you're doing well too. Too enthusiastic, too friendly. I appreciate that. Too formal, too distant. How did you hear? Too curious." Opens a conversation. Finally, she settled on, "Thank you, it's been a long time, hope you're doing well." Polite, neutral, closing the door without slamming it. She hit send before she could overthink it. Then she turned off her phone, climbed into bed next to Daniel, and tried to sleep. But she couldn't stop thinking about it. About Marcus. About the version of herself she used to be when she was with him. Wild, reckless, unpredictable, emotional. Before she became responsible. Before she became someone who meal prepped on Sundays and went to bed at 10 p.m. Before she became someone's future wife. She looked over at Daniel. His face was soft in the moonlight streaming through the window. He was good, he was safe, he was everything she should want. So why did safe feel like a cage? She grabbed her phone from the nightstand. One new message from Marcus. She shouldn't have opened it. But she did. "I'm all right, can't complain. You were always the one who got away though. I think about that sometimes." Her breath caught in her throat. This wasn't innocent anymore. This was a line being crossed. And she had a choice. Shut it down or engage. She should have put the phone down. Should have turned over and woken Daniel up and told him everything right then. Should have been honest. But instead she typed, "Life works out the way it's supposed to, I guess." Vague, non-committal, but not a shutdown. She pressed send and immediately regretted it. What was she doing? But then his response came. Does it, or do we just tell ourselves that to feel better about the choices we made? Deep, philosophical, the kind of thing Marcus used to say at 2 a.m. when they'd stay up talking about life and meaning, and all that pretentious college stuff. She'd forgotten how much she used to love those conversations. How Marcus made her think about things differently. How he challenged her in ways Daniel didn't. Daniel was steady, predictable, comfortable. Marcus was not. And part of her missed that. They texted for an hour. Nothing scandalous, nothing inappropriate. Just talking. About old friends from Georgetown. About that terrible apartment they used to hang out in with 5 other people, and the broken heater that made everyone sleep in hoodies. About the dive bar near campus that probably gave everyone food poisoning, but had the best jukebox. About Professor Chen's philosophy class, where Marcus would argue with everyone about free will and determinism. You remember that time you got so worked up about Kant that you literally stood on your chair? Amara texted, smiling despite herself. I was making a point. You were being dramatic. Same thing. It felt harmless. Like catching up with an old friend. But poison always does at first. At 1:30 a.m. she finally said goodnight. I should sleep, big day tomorrow. Right, the wedding stuff, can I ask you something? She should have said no. Sure. Are you really happy? Like actually, genuinely happy? Or are you just doing what you're supposed to do? She stared at the question for 5 full minutes. Then typed, I'm happy. That's not an answer. It's the answer I have. Okay, well, good night, Amara, thanks for talking to me. Good night, Marcus. She finally put the phone down and tried to sleep. But his question echoed in her mind. Are you really happy? She should have been able to say yes immediately. Without hesitation. But she couldn't. And that terrified her. June 13th. 48 hours until the wedding. Amara woke up to 17 unread texts in the bridal party group chat. Bride tribe. Jasmine, everyone be at the salon by 10 a.m. for hair-nail appointments. Kennedy, I'll bring coffee for everyone. Chelsea, can we do mimosas after? Jasmine, Chelsea, it's 9 a.m. Chelsea and Bridesmaid 4, Nicole, I'm running 10 min late, save me a chair. Jasmine, Nicole, I swear if you're late to the actual wedding. Nicole, I won't be, I promise. Kennedy, Amara, you alive? Chelsea, she's probably still sleeping, let the bride rest. Jasmine, at Amara, wake up, we have a schedule. Amara typed back, I'm up, be there in 30. She rolled over. Daniel's side of the bed was empty. He'd left a note on the pillow. When I help my dad pick up the tuxes, see you at rehearsal at 4. Love you. Simple, straightforward, very Daniel. She should have felt warm reading it. Instead, she felt guilty. She checked her other messages. 2 from her mom about the seating chart. 1 from the wedding coordinator confirming timeline details. And 3 from Marcus. Her stomach dropped. She opened them. 2:17 a.m. Can't sleep. Keep thinking about what you said. 2:45 a.m. Sorry if I'm being weird. I just never got closure with us, you know. And I guess I thought I was over it, but clearly I'm not. 7:23 a.m. Ignore those, I was drunk. Congrats again on the wedding. Drunk. So last night wasn't careful, thoughtful Marcus. It was messy, emotional Marcus. The version of him she remembered too well. The version that had caused her so much pain. She should have been relieved that he'd admitted to being drunk. Should have used that as her out. No worries, we were just catching up. Good luck with everything. Clean final done. But instead, she found herself typing. You don't have to apologize, I get it. Closure is hard. Why did she say that? Why did she give him an opening? She put the phone down and went to shower, trying to wash away the guilt settling over her like a fog. The hot water helped. A little. She stood there longer than necessary, letting the steam fill her lungs, trying to clear her head. By the time she got out, Marcus had replied again. Can we talk, like actually talk, not over text? No. Absolutely not. That was the right answer. I don't think that's a good idea. Their boundary set. But then, I know, you're right, it's just, I've spent 7 years wondering if I made the biggest mistake of my life letting you go. And now you're getting married and it feels like I'm running out of time to even tell you that. I'm not asking you to do anything. I just need you to know. Her hands were shaking as she read it. This was emotional manipulation. She knew that. Making his feelings her responsibility. Putting pressure on her at the worst possible time. Classic Marcus. But knowing that didn't make it easier to resist. Because there was a part of her, a part she'd buried deep, that had wondered the same thing. What if Marcus had been ready back then? What if they'd met later, when he was more mature? What if that relationship could have worked with different timing? She'd never let herself fully explore those questions. She'd written Marcus off as a mistake, a lesson learned, a chapter closed. But now he was reopening that chapter. And she was letting him. She typed, "Marcus, I'm getting married in 2 days. This isn't fair. I know it's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. But when is it ever going to be fair? After you're married, that's even worse. This is my last chance to be honest with you." Honest about what? That I still love you. That I've always loved you. That I fucked up 7 years ago and I've regretted it every single day since. She sat down on the bathroom floor, phone in hand, water dripping from her hair onto the tile. This was really happening. Her ex confessed his love for her 48 hours before her wedding. And instead of shutting it down completely, she was engaging. She should have screenshot the messages and sent them to Jasmine. Should have called Daniel and told him everything. Should have blocked Marcus and never looked back. But she didn't. Because part of her wanted to hear this. Part of her needed to know that she'd mattered to him. That their relationship hadn't just been chaos. That it had been real. Even if it was wrong. Her phone rang. Marcus. She stared at his name on the screen. Let it ring once. Twice. 3 times. Then answered. Hello. Hey, his voice was deeper than she remembered, rougher around the edges. Hi. Silence. Neither of them knew what to say now that they were actually on the phone. I can't believe I'm actually talking to you right now, he said finally. Me neither. How are you, really? I don't know how to answer that. Honestly, answer it honestly. She took a breath. I'm confused. About what? About why you're doing this now. Because if I don't do it now, I never will. And I'll spend the rest of my life wondering what would have happened if I'd just been honest. And what do you want me to do with this information, Marcus? What's the end game here? I don't know, I need to see you. Absolutely not. Just once, just to talk, face to face. So I can look you in the eye and see that you're really happy with him, and then I'll leave you alone, I swear. I can't meet up with my ex-boyfriend the day before my wedding. Why not? If you're sure about him, what's the harm? That's not how this works. Amara, please, I'm not asking you to leave him. I'm not asking you to choose me. I'm just asking for an hour, 1 hour, and then I'm gone. You never have to see me again. Every alarm in her head was screaming. Every instinct she had was yelling at her to hang up. This was wrong. This was a betrayal. This was how disasters start. But instead of listening to those alarms, she heard herself say, "Where? Anywhere you want, somewhere quiet, somewhere we can actually talk." She thought for a moment. There's a coffee shop called Grounds on Market Street, tomorrow at 2. Tomorrow, okay, thank you. This doesn't mean anything, Marcus. I'm giving you closure, that's it. I know, I'll see you tomorrow. She hung up and immediately wanted to throw up. What had she just done? She'd agreed to meet her continue 6:30 30 ex-boyfriend. The day before her wedding. Behind her fiancé's back. She looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. Who was this person? This wasn't her. She didn't do things like this. She was responsible, trustworthy, honest. She was the person people came to for advice. The person who had her life together. And now she was lying. Her phone buzzed. "Jasmine, girl, where are you? We're all at the salon." She'd completely forgotten. "Sorry, on my way now." She threw on clothes, didn't bother with makeup, and drove to the salon in a fog. When she walked in, all 4 bridesmaids were already seated, getting their nails done, laughing about something on Kennedy's phone. "There she is," Chelsea called out. "We were about to send a search party." Sorry, overslept." Jasmine gave her a look. "You okay? You seem off." "I'm fine, just wedding brain." "Well, sit down. We're doing a champagne color for everyone, and you need to pick your shade." The next 2 hours were a blur of nail polish, small talk, and mimosas she didn't drink. The other women chatted happily. About the wedding, about the dresses, about how beautiful everything was going to be. Kennedy kept showing her Pinterest boards of hairstyles. "I think I want something half up, half down. What do you think?" "Whatever you want," Amara said, not really listening. Nicole was stressing about her toast. "I've rewritten it like 8 times and it still sounds stupid." "It'll be great," Chelsea assured her. "Just speak from the heart." Jasmine was coordinating logistics. "Okay, so we're all getting ready at Amara's apartment tomorrow morning. Hair and makeup at 9. Photos start at 2. Ceremony at 5. We need to be early to everything." "Yes, drill sergeant," Chelsea saluted. They all laughed. Amara smiled on cue. But inside she was drowning. Because tomorrow at 2, she wasn't supposed to be taking photos. She was supposed to be meeting Marcus. After the salon, they all went to lunch at a restaurant downtown. More champagne. More laughter. More talk about the wedding. Amara's mom joined them, beaming with pride. "My baby's getting married," she kept saying, tearing up. "Mom, please don't cry yet. Save it for tomorrow." "I can't help it. You and Daniel are so perfect together. I'm so happy for you." Guilt twisted in her stomach. Kennedy squeezed her hand under the table. "You good?" "Yeah, just emotional." "It's allowed. This is a big deal." If only she knew. After lunch, they all went their separate ways. "Get some rest," Jasmine ordered. "Tomorrow's going to be a long day." "I will." "And Amara." "Yeah. I'm really happy for you. Daniel's a good one, you're lucky." "I know." She drove home in silence. When she got back to the apartment, Daniel still wasn't there. Just a text, "Still with my dad, be home around 6 for rehearsal, love you." She had 4 hours to herself. 4 hours to think about what she was doing. 4 hours to talk herself out of meeting Marcus. She should have used that time to call him and cancel. To come clean to Daniel. To do the right thing. Instead, she spent it trying to justify the choice she'd already made. "It's just coffee. Just closure. One conversation, and then it's over. What Daniel doesn't know won't hurt him." Lies. All of them. But lies are easier than truth when truth requires. The rehearsal was at 4 p.m. at the venue. The garden estate looked even more beautiful than Amara remembered. The string lights were already hung, twinkling even in the daylight. The flower arrangements were being set up, peonies and garden roses in white and blush pink. The chairs were arranged in perfect rows. Everything was exactly as she'd imagined. Daniel arrived with his family, his parents, his younger brother Tyler, and his grandmother who'd flown in from Oregon. He looked happy. Genuinely, completely happy. When he saw Amara, his whole face lit up. "Hey you," he said, pulling her into a hug. "How was your day?" "Good, busy. Nails and hair planning and all that." "You look beautiful." "I'm literally wearing jeans and a t-shirt." "I know, still beautiful." He kissed her, and she felt nothing. Well, not nothing. She felt guilt. The wedding coordinator, a woman named Patricia who'd planned approximately 7,000 weddings and ran everything with military precision, clapped her hands. "All right, everyone, let's get started. We have a lot to go through and not a lot of time." She walked them through the ceremony step by step. Who stands where? When the music starts. How the processional works. Bridesmaids first, one by one. Then Kennedy was the maid of honor, then Amara with her father. Her dad squeezed her shoulder, ready to practice walking me down the aisle. "You mean me walking you?" Potato, I'm still going to cry." They ran through it twice. The first time, Jasmine tripped on her dress and everyone laughed. The second time, the music didn't start on cue, and Patricia nearly had an aneurysm. "Tomorrow this will be perfect," she kept saying. Daniel's vows were already written and locked in his pocket. Amara's were not. She'd started them a dozen times and deleted them all. How do you write vows when you're not sure you should be making them? During a break, Daniel's mom pulled Amara aside. "I just want to say thank you," she said, her eyes getting misty. "For what?" "For loving my son. He's been through a lot, you know. After his last relationship ended, I wasn't sure he'd ever trust anyone again. But you brought him back to life. I've never seen him this happy." The guilt was suffocating now. "He makes me happy too," Amara managed. "I can tell. You two are going to have a wonderful life together. I just know it." She wanted to scream. Instead, she smiled and said thank you. The rehearsal wrapped up around 6:30. Patricia gave her final instructions. "Tomorrow, everyone needs to be here by 3 p.m. No exceptions. Hair and makeup will be done at the bridal suite. Photographers arrive at 2, first look at 4, ceremony at 5, cocktail hour at 5:45, reception at 7. We have a tight schedule, people." Then it was time for the rehearsal dinner. Daniel's parents had reserved a private room at an Italian restaurant downtown. About 40 people, immediate family, wedding party, and a few close friends. The room was warm and loud and filled with love. Toast started immediately. Daniel's dad stood up first. "I'm not good at speeches," he began, "but I want to say that when Daniel brought Amara home for the first time, I just knew she was the one. She's smart, kind, and she makes my son happier than I've ever seen him. Welcome to the family, Amara. We're lucky to have you." Everyone raised their glasses. Amara's dad went next. "I've been waiting to give my daughter away since the day she was born," he said, voice cracking. "And I never thought I'd actually be happy about it. But Daniel, you're exactly the kind of man I prayed she'd find. Take care of her. Love her. And for God's sake, don't let her eat cereal for dinner every night as she did in college." Laughter. More toasts. From friends, from siblings, from grandparents. All of them were talking about how perfect Amara and Daniel were together. How this was meant to be. Love like theirs was rare. Amara smiled through all of it. Said thank you. Pretended to be overwhelmed with joy. But inside she was screaming. Because she was sitting here, surrounded by people celebrating a future she was about to sabotage. And they had no idea. Dinner was delicious, pasta and wine and tiramisu for dessert. Conversation flowed easily. Stories about Daniel as a kid. Stories about Amara in college. The time they went on a trip to the beach and Daniel got stung by a jellyfish. The time Amara tried to cook Thanksgiving dinner and nearly burned down her apartment. Normal, happy memories. building a foundation for a normal, happy future. Around 9:30, people started leaving. Hugs goodbye. See you tomorrow. Get some sleep. Can't wait for the big day. Daniel drove Amara home. They were quiet in the car. You okay? He asked. You've been quiet all night. Just tired, lots of emotions. I get it, I'm feeling it too. He reached over and took her hand. But I'm also really excited. This time tomorrow you'll be my wife. She should have felt butterflies. Instead, she felt dread. When they got home, Daniel started getting ready for bed immediately. We should both sleep, he said. Tomorrow's going to be insane. Yeah, you're right. He kissed her goodnight. I love you so much. I love you too. Another lie. Or was it? She didn't even know anymore. Daniel fell asleep within minutes, peaceful and content. Amara lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Her phone buzzed. Marcus. Still on for tomorrow. She should have said no. Should have canceled. Should have told him this was a mistake. Instead, she typed. 2 p.m., Grounds Coffee on Market. I'll be there, thank you for this. She put the phone down and closed her eyes. Tomorrow was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. So why did it feel like the end? June 14th. 24 hours until the wedding. Amara woke up at 6 a.m., even though she didn't have to be anywhere until 9. Daniel was already awake, sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at his phone. Morning, she said. He jumped slightly. Hey, didn't know you were awake. Couldn't sleep much. Me neither, too excited, he smiled. This time tomorrow we'll be married. There it was again. That reminder. That wait. Daniel got up and headed to the shower. My brother's picking me up at 8. We're going to get breakfast and then hang out until the ceremony. His idea. That sounds nice. What about you? What time are the girls coming over? 9, hair and makeup start then. Okay, I'll be out of your way by then. He showered, got dressed, and packed an overnight bag with his tux and everything he'd need for later. Before he left, he came over to where Amara was sitting on the couch, pretending to drink coffee. Hey, he said softly. She looked up. I know we're not supposed to see each other until the first look, so this is goodbye for now. I'll see you in a few hours. I know, but still. He cupped her face in his hands. I just want you to know that I'm sure, about you, about us, about everything. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. She felt tears forming. Daniel. You don't have to say anything, I just wanted you to know. He kissed her forehead. See you at the altar. And then he was gone. The apartment felt impossibly empty. Amara sat there for a long time, staring at nothing. She should have felt romantic. Should have been swooning over how sweet Daniel was. How lucky she was. Instead, she felt like she was going to be sick. At 7:30, she texted Marcus. We need to talk before 2. He responded immediately. Now. Can you call? Her phone rang 10 seconds later. Hey, his voice was cautious. I don't think I can do this. Do what? Meet up? Any of it? This, talking to you. I'm getting married tomorrow, Marcus. What are we doing? We're getting closure. Is that really what this is? Because it feels like something else. Silence on his end. Then, what do you want it to be? That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair, Amara. You're the one who agreed to meet. If you want to cancel, cancel. But don't act like I'm forcing you into anything. He was right. She hated that he was right. I just need to know, she said quietly. Why now? Why did you wait 7 years and then reach out 3 days before my wedding? Because I'm a coward, he said simply. I've wanted to reach out 1,000 times, but I was scared. Scared you'd reject me, scared you'd moved on, scared I'd already lost you. And then I saw the wedding announcement and I realized I had lost you, and I couldn't let that happen without at least trying. Trying what? To get you back. The words hung in the air. Marcus. I know it's insane. I know you're with someone else. I know I have no right, but I had to try. Because if there's even a 1% chance that you still feel what I feel, then I had to know. Her hands were shaking. And what do you feel? That I made the biggest mistake of my life letting you go. That no one has ever made me feel the way you did. That I've spent 7 years comparing every woman I meet to you and they all fall short. That I still love you. I never stopped. She should have hung up. Should have told him he was being selfish and cruel. Should have defended Daniel and her relationship and her choice. But instead she whispered, I need to see you. What time? Now I can't wait until 2. Where are you? Home, but I can't meet here. Daniel's brother might come by. I'll send you an address. Can you come now? Yes. She hung up and got dressed in the fog. Jeans, sweatshirt, sneakers. Grabbed her keys and her phone. As she was leaving, Jasmine texted. Jasmine, on my way, so excited. Amara responded, running a quick errand, be back by 9:30, promise. Jasmine, you better be, we have a schedule. She got in her car and drove to the address Marcus sent. A small apartment complex across town. He was waiting outside. Same leather jacket, same rough around the edges look. But when he saw her, his whole face changed. Softer, younger, almost vulnerable. Hey, he said. Hey. They went up to his apartment. Studio, sparsely furnished, smelled like coffee and cigarettes. Sorry it's a mess, he said. I wasn't expecting company. It's fine. They stood there awkwardly. Neither of them knew what to say now that they were actually face to face. You look good, he finally said. You said that already, over text. I meant it then too. She walked over to the window, looking out at the city. I shouldn't be here. But you are. This is wrong. I know. I'm getting married tomorrow. I know. So why am I here, Marcus? He moved closer to her, not touching but close enough that she could feel the warmth of him. Because you wanted to come, because part of you needed to. That doesn't make it right. No, it doesn't. She turned to face him. What do you want from me? Honestly, I want you to leave him. I want you to choose me. I want another chance to do this right. You had your chance, multiple chances, you blew them all. I know, and I'm sorry. I was young and stupid and I didn't realize what I had, but I'm different now. People don't change, Marcus. Yes, they do, I have. I've been in therapy for 3 years. I've worked on myself. I'm not the same guy I was. And I'm not the same girl. Aren't you? The question hung between them. Because the truth was, she didn't know. Was she different? Or had she just gotten better at hiding the parts of herself that craved chaos? Tell me you're happy with him, Marcus said. Look me in the eye and tell me you're completely, genuinely happy, and I'll walk away right now. She opened her mouth. The words should have come easily. I'm happy, I love him, this is WAP. But they didn't. I don't know. You don't know if you're happy. I don't know if what I have with him is enough. Marcus stepped closer. What do you want it to be? I want it to feel the way it did with us, intense, passionate, like I'm alive. Then why are you marrying him? Because that intensity almost destroyed me. Because you and I were a disaster. Because I can't spend my life on a roller coaster, Marcus. I need stability. Do you? Or is that just what you think you're supposed to need? She didn't have an answer. And that's when it happened. Not all at once. Not with planning. Just a shift. He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. He leaned closer. She didn't step back. And then they were kissing. And every rational thought in her head disappeared. She wasn't thinking about Daniel. Wasn't thinking about tomorrow. Wasn't thinking about consequences. She was just feeling. The way she used to. The way she'd forgotten she could. It was like falling back into an old pattern. Familiar, intoxicating, dangerous. They stumbled toward the bed. Clothes came off. Boundaries disappeared. And she made a choice. The choice. The one that would unravel everything. Amara woke up at 11 a.m. in a bed that wasn't hers, next to a man who wasn't her fiancé, on the day before she was supposed to get married. For a moment, she didn't remember where she was. Then reality crashed in like a tidal wave. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God. What have I done? Marcus was still asleep next to her, face peaceful, breathing slow and steady. She slipped out of bed as quietly as possible, trying not to wake him. Her clothes were scattered across the floor. She grabbed them, hands shaking so badly she could barely button her jeans. Her phone showed 47 missed calls. 14 from Jasmine. 11 from Kennedy. 9 from her mom. 6 from Daniel. 7 from various bridesmaids. The bridal party group chat had 127 unread messages. Jasmine, where are you? Jasmine, Amara, answer your phone. Kennedy, this isn't funny anymore. Mom, sweetheart, please call me. Chelsea, we're getting worried. Nicole, did something happen? Jasmine, I swear to God if you don't respond in the next 5 minutes I'm calling the police. The last message was from 10 minutes ago. She'd missed everything. Hair appointments, makeup photos. Everyone thought something terrible had happened to her. And in a way something had. She destroyed her entire life in one night. In the bathroom, she caught her reflection. Mascara smudged, hair is a mess, eyes hollow. She looked like a stranger. She'd thought sleeping with Marcus would answer something. Prove whether she'd made the right choice with Daniel. Clarify whether she'd been lying to herself all along. But all it did was make everything worse. Because it didn't feel like she thought it would. It didn't feel like coming home. It didn't feel right. It felt like betrayal. Like she'd destroyed her future for a ghost that didn't even exist anymore. Marcus woke up as she was trying to leave. Hey, his voice was rough with sleep. Where are you going? I have to go. What, why? Because I shouldn't be here, because this was a mistake. He sat up suddenly alert. A mistake. Yes, Marcus, a mistake. I'm getting married tomorrow. Are you? The question stopped her cold. What? Are you really Gareth with it, after last night? Last night shouldn't have happened. But it did. That means something, Amara. It means I fucked up. It means I betrayed someone who loves me. It means I'm exactly the kind of person I swore I'd never be. She was crying now, hot, angry tears streaming down her face. Marcus got out of bed, pulling on his jeans. Hey, don't cry, come here. Don't touch me. Amara. I have to go, I can't do this right now. She grabbed her purse and purse keys, before he could say anything else. The drive home was a nightmare. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. She didn't answer. Couldn't answer. What would she even say? When she finally pulled into her apartment complex, Jasmine's car was parked out front. Shit. She took a deep breath and went inside. The apartment was full of people. Jasmine, Kennedy, her mom, Chelsea, and Nicole. All of them looked worried and angry, and relieved all at once. "Oh, thank God," her mom rushed over. "Where have you been? We've been calling you for hours." I lost track of time." "Lost track of time?" Jasmine's voice was sharp. "You were supposed to be here at 9:30. It's almost noon. We missed all the morning appointments." "I'm sorry." "Where were you?" Kennedy asked, studying her face. "What happened?" Amara couldn't look at her. I needed some air. I went for a drive." "For 3 hours." Jasmine was yelling now. "Without answering your phone, on the day before your wedding." "I know, I'm sorry, I was overwhelmed and I needed space." "You scared us half to death," her mom said, tears in her eyes. "We thought something terrible had happened." "Nothing happened, I'm fine." But she wasn't fine. And they could all see it. "Where's Daniel?" Amara asked suddenly. The room went quiet. "He's at the hotel with his family," Jasmine said carefully. "He's been calling too." "Did you tell him that you disappeared?" "Yeah, he's been worried sick." Guilt crashed over her in waves. She needed to call him. Needed to tell him something. But what? "Hey, sorry I disappeared. I was busy sleeping with my ex." Her phone rang. Daniel's name on the screen. Everyone watched her. She answered. "Hello." "Oh, thank God." His voice was thick with relief. "Are you okay? Where are you?" "I'm home, I'm fine. I'm sorry I worried everyone." "What happened?" "Jasmine said you've been gone since 8 a.m. I needed some space, wedding nerves. I went for a drive and my phone died and I lost track of time." Lies. So many lies. A drive for 4 hours. "I know, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry." Silence on his end. Then, "Are you having second thoughts?" The question hung there. Heavy, loaded, dangerous. "What? No, of course not." "Because if you are, you need to tell me now. Before tomorrow, I need to know." "I'm not having second thoughts. I just got overwhelmed, that's all." Another lie. "Okay," he said, but he didn't sound convinced. "Well, I'm glad you're safe. I was really worried." "I know, I'm sorry. Do you want me to come over?" "No," she said it too quickly, too forcefully. Everyone in the room exchanged glances. "I mean, you're not supposed to see me today. Bad luck, remember." "Right, yeah, you're right. I'll see you tomorrow, at the ceremony." "Okay, I love you." The words stuck in her throat. "I love you too." She hung up. The room was silent. Jasmine was the first to speak. "What the hell is going on with you?" "Nothing, I told you." "Don't lie to me, Amara. I've known you for 10 years. Something is wrong." "I'm just nervous." "This isn't nervous, this is something else." Jasmine moved closer, her voice softer now. "Talk to me, please." Amara wanted to tell her everything. About Marcus, about the texts, about this morning. About how she destroyed everything for a fantasy that turned to ash the moment it became real. But she couldn't. If she said it out loud, it would be real. And she wasn't ready for that. "I'm fine," she said again. "I promise. I just need a minute to get myself together." Her mom touched her shoulder. "Sweetheart, if you're not ready for this." "I am ready. I want to marry Daniel. I love him." Did she? She didn't even know anymore. "Okay," her mom said, though she didn't look convinced. "Then let's get you ready. We have exactly 6 hours until the ceremony." The next few hours were a blur. New hair appointments were made. Makeup artists were rescheduled. Everyone moved with frantic efficiency, trying to salvage the day. Amara sat through it all like a zombie. Getting her hair curled. Getting her makeup done. Putting on her dress. The dress that had made her cry with joy just a few months ago. Now it felt like a costume. Like she was playing the role of a bride in a play about someone else's life. Kennedy helped her zip it up. "You look beautiful," she whispered. "Thanks, Amara." "Yeah. Are you sure about this?" The question she'd been avoiding all day. "What do you mean?" "I mean, you don't seem happy. You seem like you're going through the motions." "I'm just tired." "Is that really all it is?" Amara turned to look at her sister. Sweet Kennedy, who'd always looked up to her. Who'd always thought she had all the answers. "Do you think I'm making a mistake?" Amara asked quietly. Kennedy looked shocked. "What? No, I mean, I don't know, are you?" "I don't know." "Then maybe you shouldn't do it." "I can't call it off now. Everyone's here. Everything's ready. It's too late." "It's not too late. It's never too late to be honest." But honesty would destroy everything. Would hurt Daniel. Would devastate her family. Would confirm everyone's suspicions that something was wrong. So instead of being honest, she said, "I'm fine, just wedding day jitters. Everyone gets them, right?" Kennedy didn't look convinced. But she didn't push. At 4 p.m., they all got in cars to head to the venue. Jasmine drove Amara. They were quiet for most of the drive. Then Jasmine said, "You know you can tell me anything, right?" "I know. I mean it, anything, even if it's terrible, even if you think I'll judge you, I won't." Amara's throat tightened. "I know. Did something happen with someone else?" The question hit like a bullet. "What? No, why would you ask that?" "Because you're acting exactly like my cousin did before her wedding. And it turned out she'd been sleeping with her ex the whole time." Amara's heart was pounding. "I'm not your cousin." "Okay, but if something did happen." "Nothing happened." "Okay." But Jasmine didn't believe her. They pulled up to the venue. The place looked like a fairy tale. The sun was starting to set, casting everything in golden light. The flowers were perfect. The music was playing. Guests were arriving, dressed in their best, excited to celebrate. Everything was exactly as it should be. Except for Amara, who was standing in the bridal suite, wearing a dress that cost more than her rent, about to marry a man she'd betrayed. And all she could think about was how much she wanted to run. The first look was scheduled for 4:30. Amara and Daniel would meet outside by the garden arch for photos before the ceremony. The photographer positioned her carefully. "Okay, hands over your eyes. Don't peek until I say." She could hear Daniel approaching. Could hear his footsteps on the gravel path. Could hear him breathing. "Okay, Daniel, you can tap her shoulder," the photographer said. He did. She turned around, removed her hands, and saw him. He looked incredible. Navy suit, crisp white shirt, tie that matched the bridesmaids' dresses. Hair styled perfectly. Face full of love and anticipation. He looked at her like she was the only person in the world. Like she was everything he'd ever wanted. "Wow," he whispered, "you're wow." Tears filled his eyes. "You're beautiful, so beautiful." She should have cried too. Should have felt overwhelmed with love. Should have felt lucky. Instead, she felt numb. The photographer was snapping away. "These are perfect, the emotion. Daniel, can you wipe your eyes? Actually, no, leave it, this is beautiful." They took pictures for 30 minutes. Posed shot, candid shots, romantic shots. Daniel holding her, Amara laughing, both of them looking in love. It would have looked perfect to anyone watching. But Amara felt like she was underwater. Everything was muffled and distant. At 5:15, they separated. Daniel went to wait at the altar. Amara went back to the bridal suite. The bridesmaids were waiting. All of them in their matching dresses, holding bouquets, ready to walk down the aisle. 5 minutes, the coordinator called. "Everyone line up." This was it. In 5 minutes, she'd walk down that aisle. In 5 minutes, she'd promise to love Daniel forever. In 5 minutes, she'd become someone's wife. And she'd done it all while lying. The music started. Instrumental version of A Thousand Years. Her mom's choice. The bridesmaids started walking, one by one. Nicole. Chelsea. Jasmine. Then Kennedy, who looked back at Amara one more time before heading out. Her expression said everything. Are you sure? Amara nodded. But she wasn't sure. Wasn't sure about anything anymore. Then it was just her and her dad. He offered his arm. Ready, sweetheart? Dad, can I ask you something? Of course. How did you know Mom was the one? He smiled. That's easy. I didn't want to imagine my life without her. Even on our worst days, I'd rather have her than not have her. What if you weren't sure? His smile faded. Are you not sure? She couldn't answer. Amara, he said gently, if you have doubts, real doubts, you need to say something now, not after. But everyone's here. I don't care about everyone. I care about you. And I'd rather explain to 200 guests why there's no wedding than watch you marry someone you're not sure about. Tears started falling. I messed up, Dad. What do you mean? I did something terrible, and I don't know how to fix it. What did you do? She took a breath. I saw someone, an ex, and we. She didn't have to finish. Her dad's face said he understood. When? This morning. He closed his eyes. I don't know what to do. Her dad was quiet for a long time. Then he said, you can't marry him without telling him. That's not fair, not to him, not to you. If I tell him, he'll leave. Maybe, probably, but that's his choice to make. You don't get to take that away from him. But everyone's here. The wedding, the money, the plans. Money doesn't matter. Plans don't matter. What matters is doing the right thing, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. The music was still playing. They were supposed to be walking. Patricia appeared, looking panicked. Is everything okay? We're behind schedule. Give us a minute, her dad said firmly. Patricia's eyes went wide. But I said give us a minute. She disappeared. Amara was crying fully now. I don't want to lose him. Then you should have thought about that this morning. The words were harsh but true. What do I do? You go out there and you tell him the truth, before he makes vows he can't take back. I can't do that to him in front of everyone. Then you call it off, right now. You go out there and you tell everyone there's not going to be a wedding. Dad, those are your options, sweetheart, truth or cancellation. You don't get to lie your way into a marriage. He was right. She knew he was right. But knowing something and having the courage to do it are two different things. Can you do it for me? She whispered. Tell everyone. No, this is your mess. You have to clean it up. She nodded, wiped her eyes, tried to steady her breathing. Okay, I'll tell him. You want me to come with you? No, I need to do this alone. She walked through the bridal suite, past confused bridesmaids. Amara, where are you going? Jasmine called. She didn't answer. Down the hallway. Through the garden. To where Daniel was standing at the altar. He saw her coming and his face lit up. Then he saw her expression and his smile faded. What's wrong? I need to talk to you. Now we're about to start. Now. He saw something in her eyes that made him move. They walked away from the altar, away from the guests who were starting to murmur. Found a quiet corner behind the venue building. What's going on? He asked. You're scaring me. I need to tell you something, and you're going to hate me, but you deserve to know before before we do this." His whole body tensed. "Okay. This morning, when I disappeared, I wasn't just driving around. Where were you?" "I was with someone, an ex, from college. He reached out a few days ago and I shouldn't have responded, I should have blocked him, but I didn't, and we met up and She couldn't say it. Didn't have to. Daniel's face said he understood. He took a step back like she'd physically struck him. "You slept with him?" It wasn't a question. "Yes. This morning, the day before our wedding, you slept with someone else." "Yes." The word felt like poison. Daniel now, we're about to S hands were shaking. "Why?" "I don't know." That's not an answer. I was confused, I was scared. I had doubts and I thought. "You thought what? That fucking your ex would clear things up?" She'd never heard him curse before. Never seen him this angry. "I thought it would help me know if I was making the right choice." "And did it?" His voice was sharp. "Did it help?" "Yes, it showed me that he's not what I want, that what we had was a fantasy, that I made a mistake." "A mistake?" He laughed bitterly. "You keep calling it a mistake like you tripped and fell into his bed." "That's not what I mean. You made a choice, Amara, multiple choices. You chose to talk to him, you chose to meet him, you chose to lie to me, you chose to sleep with him. Those aren't mistakes, that's who you are." "That's not fair." "Not fair." He was yelling now, loud enough that people could probably hear. "You want to talk about fair? I have been faithful to you for 4 years. 4 years of building a life together. 4 years of choosing you every single day. 4 years of planning a future. And you threw it all away for what? A guy who treated you like garbage 7 years ago. What the hell made you think he'd be any different now?" "He's not, I know he's not." "Then why did you do it?" "Because I was scared." "Of what?" "Of this, of forever, of promising something I wasn't sure I could keep." The truth finally came out. And it hung there between them. Daniel's face changed. The anger drained away, replaced by something worse. "Heartbreak. You're not sure about me." "I thought I was." "But you're not, you've never been sure." "That's not true." "Yes, it is, I can see it now. You've been going through the motions for months, maybe longer. I saw it, but I didn't want to believe it. I kept thinking you'd come around, that you'd realize what we have, but you don't see it, do you?" She wanted to argue, wanted to say he was wrong. But he wasn't. "I love you," she tried. "No, you love the idea of me. You love that I'm safe and stable and everything your ex wasn't. But you don't love me enough to be faithful. You don't love me enough to choose me. You don't love me the way I love you." Tears were streaming down both their faces now. "Daniel, please." "Did he even apologize? After this morning, did he ask you to be with him?" She didn't answer. She didn't need to. "He didn't, did he? He got what he wanted and he's gone, and you destroyed us for that, for nothing." "I'm sorry." "I don't want your apology." His voice broke. "I want you to be someone you're not, someone who wouldn't do this, someone who loved me enough." "I do love you." "Not enough." He took off his boutonniere, set it on the bench next to them. "I can't do this. Daniel. I won't marry someone who could betray me like this. Because if you could do it now, when everything was perfect, what happens 5 years from now when things get hard? When we have kids and a mortgage and life gets messy? What happens then?" She didn't have an answer. "I deserve someone who chooses me completely, not someone who's still chasing ghosts." "You're right," she whispered. "You do deserve that." "Yeah, I do." He turned to walk away. "Daniel, wait." He stopped but didn't turn around. "I really am sorry." "I know you are, but sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back 4 years. Sorry doesn't make you someone you're not." And then he walked away, toward the front of the venue, where 200 guests were waiting. Amara sank onto the bench, destroyed. 5 minutes later, she heard Daniel's voice over the sound system. "I'm sorry, everyone. There's not going to be a wedding today. Thank you for coming. I apologize for the inconvenience." Gasps, murmurs, confusion. Then silence. The wedding was over. And so was everything else. The next 6 hours were a blur of horror and shame. The guests dispersed quickly. Some confused, some angry, some sympathetic. Whispers everywhere. What happened? Did someone call it off? I heard she cheated. Word travels fast. The bridesmaids found her in the garden, still in her dress, mascara running, completely destroyed. "What did you do?" Jasmine asked, her voice a mix of anger and disbelief. Amara told them everything. About Marcus reaching out. About the texts. About this morning. About her confession to Daniel. Kennedy cried. Chelsea looked horrified. Nicole just shook her head. Jasmine was the only one who spoke. "How could you?" "I don't know." "That's not an answer, Amara. How could you do this to him, to yourself, to all of us?" "I made a mistake." "Stop calling it a mistake. You chose this. You chose to entertain Marcus. You chose to meet him. You chose to sleep with him. You chose to hurt the best man any of us have ever met." She was right. About all of it. I know. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you just blew up your entire life, and you don't even understand why. I was scared. We're all scared. You think I wasn't terrified when I got engaged. You think choosing forever is easy for anyone. But you don't cheat because you're scared. You talk. You go to therapy. You be honest. You don't fuck your ex and ruin everything. Amara had never heard Jasmine this angry. "I can't talk about this right now," Jasmine said, turning away. "I need space from you." "Jas, please." "No, you don't get to ask me for anything right now. You lied to all of us. You made us part of this disaster. So no, I'm done." She left. The other bridesmaids followed. Only Kennedy stayed. "I should go check on Mom and Dad," she said quietly. "They're devastated." "I know. How could you do this? You've always been the smart one, the one who made good choices, and you threw it away for Marcus. Marcus who treated you like garbage." "I don't have an answer that will make sense." "Try." I think part of me never got over him, never got over the intensity of what we had. And when Daniel came along, he was everything I thought I should want. But I never stopped wondering about the what-ifs with Marcus. And when he reached out, I convinced myself I needed closure. But I didn't need closure. I needed validation that I'd made the right choice leaving him. And instead, you proved you're still the same girl who fell for his bullshit 7 years ago. The words stung. But they were true. Yeah, I guess I did. Kennedy left too. Amara sat alone in the garden as the venue staff started breaking everything down, removing flowers, folding chairs, dismantling the dream that was supposed to be her wedding. Her mom found her around 8 p.m. Sat down next to her without saying anything. They sat in silence for a long time. Finally, her mom spoke. "Your father told me what you did." "I know. I don't understand." "I don't either. Daniel was perfect for you." "I know. He would have given you a beautiful life." "I know. So why?" Amara looked at her mom. This woman who'd been married for 35 years. Who'd weathered storms and stayed faithful. Who'd built a life on commitment and trust. "Because I'm broken," Amara whispered. "Because I don't know how to choose peace without getting bored. Because I mistake intensity for love and stability for settling. Because I'm self-destructive and I sabotage good things. Because I'm not like you." Her mom's eyes filled with tears. "Oh, sweetheart. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not the daughter you thought I was. You're exactly the daughter I thought you were, flawed, human, imperfect, just like everyone else. I ruined everything." "Yes, you did. No sugarcoating. Just truth. Can I fix it?" "I don't know, probably not with Daniel. That bridge is burned, but maybe with yourself, if you do the work." "What work?" "Figuring out why you did this, why you can't let yourself be happy, why you chase chaos. You need therapy, Amara, real therapy, not just a few sessions, real, committed work on yourself. And if I do that, maybe you'll understand yourself better. Maybe you'll make better choices next time. Maybe you'll learn to choose people who are good for you instead of people who make you feel alive for all the wrong reasons." "What if there is no next time? What if I ruined my only chance?" "You're 28 years old. You have plenty of chances left, but not if you keep making the same mistakes." Amara nodded. "I need to go home." "You can't go home, sweetheart. Daniel's apartment." Right. She'd forgotten. Home was his place too. Had been for 2 years. "Come stay with us," her mom said, "until you figure things out." They drove back to her parents' house in silence. Her dad was waiting up. He hugged her without saying anything. And she broke. Sobbed into his shoulder like she used to when she was little, and the world felt too big. "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." "I know, sweetheart, I know." Over the next few weeks, the reality settled in. Daniel moved out immediately. She went back to get her stuff when she knew he wouldn't be there. Jasmine had texted her the all clear. Walking into that apartment broke her all over again. Because it was still theirs. Their furniture, their photos, their memories. Except half of it was gone. His side of the closet, empty. His books gone. His toothbrush missing. All the little traces of him erased. She packed her things quickly. Left the key on the counter. And never went back. Work became unbearable. Everyone knew. They didn't say anything to her face. But she could see it in their eyes. The judgment, the pity, the gossip. She took a leave of absence. Mental health break, she told HR. They didn't ask questions. Probably knew the truth anyway. She started therapy. 3 times a week at first. A woman named Dr. Chen, who didn't let her off easy. "Why do you think you did it?" she asked in their first session. "I don't know." "That's not true, you know, you just don't want to say it." "I was scared." "Of what?" "Of forever." "Why?" "Because forever means staying, and everyone leaves eventually." "Did your parents leave?" "No." "Did Daniel ever give you reason to think he would leave?" "No." "Then where does that belief come from?" Amara thought for a long time. "Marcus. Tell me about Marcus." And she did. Week after week, she unpacked that relationship. The intensity, the breakups, the makeups. The way he'd leave and come back and leave again. How she'd learned that love was something you had to chase. Something unstable, something you could lose at any moment. "And Daniel?" Dr. Chen asked. "Daniel never left. He was always there, always consistent." "And that scared you?" "Yes." "Because if he was always there, you didn't have to chase him." "Right. And if you didn't have to chase him, was it really love?" The question hit her like a truck. Because that's exactly what she'd thought. That Daniel's love was too easy. Too available. Too safe. And she'd confused that with it not being real. "I'm an idiot," she whispered. "You're not an idiot. You're someone who learned the wrong lessons about love, and now you have to unlearn them." It took months. Months of therapy. Months of journaling. Months of sitting with her mistakes and her choices and her pain. Months of accepting that she destroyed something beautiful. Daniel never reached out. Not once. She saw on social media that he'd moved to Portland. Started a new job. Seemed to be doing okay. Better than okay, actually. He looked free. Like a weight had been lifted. And maybe it had. Maybe she'd been that weight. Marcus reached out once. About a month after the wedding that never happened. I heard what happened, I'm sorry. She stared at the message for a long time. Then blocked the number. Because she finally understood. Marcus wasn't sorry. He'd gotten exactly what he wanted. The chaos, the drama, the destruction. He'd never wanted her for real. He'd wanted the idea of taking her away from someone else. And she'd let him. 6 months later, she ran into Daniel. Pure coincidence. She was getting coffee near her new apartment. Turned around and there he was. He looked good. Healthy, tan, happy. Hey, he said, looking surprised. Hey. Awkward silence. How are you, she asked. Good, really good, actually. Living in Portland now. I saw. Congratulations on the new job. Thanks, what about you? I'm working on myself, therapy mostly. He nodded, that's good. More silence. Daniel, You don't have to, he said gently. It's okay. No, I do. I need to say I'm sorry, really sorry for everything. You deserved so much better. He looked at her for a long moment. Yeah, I did, but thank you for saying it. Are you seeing anyone? I am actually. Met her at work, she's great. It hurt. But it also felt right. I'm happy for you. Are you? Yes, really. You deserve someone who chooses you completely. Yeah. I do. He smiled, not bitter, just at peace. Take care of yourself, Amara. You too. And that was it. Closure. Real closure. Not the kind she'd been chasing with Marcus. But the kind that comes from accepting what you lost and why you lost it. 2 years later, Amara was a different person. Not completely. She still had bad days. Still had moments where she wondered what if. Still felt the weight of what she'd destroyed. But she'd done the work. The real, hard, uncomfortable work of figuring out why she was the way she was. And slowly, very slowly, she started to change. She learned to sit with peace instead of running from it. She learned that intensity isn't the same as love. She learned that drama isn't the same as passion. She learned that the person who stays is worth more than the person who makes you chase. She learned that stability isn't boring, it's a gift. She learned that you can't build a future on nostalgia. She learned that closure doesn't come, it comes from within. She learned that some mistakes don't get do-overs. She learned that forgiveness starts with forgiving yourself. And she learned that she was capable of destroying something beautiful. Which meant she was also capable of building something beautiful. If she did the work. If she made better choices. If she chose differently next time. She dated again. Slowly, carefully. She was honest from the start. Told partners about her past. About what she'd done. About the work she was doing. Some guys ran. Some stayed. She let the ones who ran go without chasing them. Because she'd learned that the right person wouldn't run. At 30, she met someone new. His name was James. He was quiet, kind, steady. Not boring steady. Just secure. And for the first time in her life, she didn't confuse security with settling. She didn't get bored. She didn't sabotage. She didn't chase chaos. She chose peace. Every single day. And it felt right. Here's what Amara learned the hard way. 1. Cheating is never one decision. It's 1,000 small ones. The choice to reply to a message you shouldn't. The choice to meet up just as friends. The choice to entertain what-ifs instead of shutting them down. The choice to prioritize your curiosity over your commitment. The choice to lie instead of being honest. Every single one of those choices leads to the next. And by the time you realize what you're doing, you're already too far down the path to turn back easily. People love to say, it just happened. No, it didn't just happen. You let it happen. You chose it. Every step of the way. 2. Nostalgia is a liar. Memory edits out the bad parts. It highlights the passion and hides the pain. It makes you forget why you left in the first place. Marcus wasn't better than Daniel. He was just familiar. And humans confuse familiarity with fate. We remember the good times and forget the fights. We remember the intensity and forget the instability. We remember how someone made us feel and forget how they made us suffer. Nostalgia is selective memory. And selective memory will destroy your present for a past that never actually existed. 3. Boredom isn't a reason to blow up your life. Every relationship eventually becomes routine. The butterflies fade. The intensity mellows. The excitement of newness transforms into the comfort of knowing. And if you can't handle that, if you need constant drama to feel alive, you're not ready for real love. Because real love is choosing someone even when it's boring. Especially when it's boring. Real love is finding excitement in small moments. Real love is building something stable enough to last. Real love is peace, not chaos. And if you keep mistaking chaos for passion, you'll spend your whole life destroying good things in search of a feeling. We remember the good times and forget the fights. We remember the intensity and forget the instability. We remember how someone made us feel and forget how they made us suffer. Nostalgia is selective memory. And selective memory will destroy your present for a past that never actually existed. 3. Boredom isn't a reason to blow up your life. Every relationship eventually becomes routine. The butterflies fade. The intensity mellows. The excitement of newness transforms into the comfort of knowing. And if you can't handle that, if you need constant drama to feel alive, you're not ready for real love. Because real love is choosing someone even when it's boring. Especially when it's boring. Real love is finding excitement in small moments. Real love is building something stable enough to last. Real love is peace, not chaos. And if you keep mistaking chaos for passion, you'll spend your whole life destroying good things in search of a feeling that never lasts. 4. You don't get closure from the person who hurt you. Amara kept waiting for Marcus to apologize. To acknowledge what he'd done. To feel guilty. To take responsibility for his part. He never did. Because people who are capable of using you don't lose sleep over it. They move on immediately. They don't sit with guilt or regret. They just continue. Closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you. From accepting what happened. From understanding your own role. From forgiving yourself. From choosing to move forward. Waiting for someone else to give you closure is giving them power over your healing. Don't do that. Close the door yourself. 5. Some mistakes don't get second chances. Daniel never came back. And he shouldn't have. Not because he didn't love her, but because trust, once shattered, doesn't just glue back together. You can apologize. You can explain. You can promise to change. But you can't undo what you did. And the other person has every right to walk away. It's not about forgiveness. It's about self-respect. Daniel respected himself enough to know he deserved better. Deserved someone who wouldn't betray him at the first sign of doubt. Deserved someone who chose him completely. And Amara had to live with that. 6. The grass isn't greener, it's just different grass. You know what Amara realized? Every relationship has problems. The one with Marcus had different issues than the one with Daniel. More exciting issues, maybe. More intense issues. But also more painful ones. More unstable ones. More destructive ones. You're not escaping problems when you cheat. You're just trading them. Trading stability for intensity. Trading trust for excitement. Trading peace for chaos. And usually, the trade isn't worth it. 7. Your wedding day doesn't fix your doubts. If you have serious doubts the day before your wedding, the wedding won't resolve them. Marriage doesn't fix uncertainty. It magnifies it. Marriage makes everything more intense. The good things become better. The bad things become worse. The doubts become louder. If you're not sure, don't do it. Have the hard conversation. Postpone. Go to counseling. Be honest. Because once you're married, the stakes are higher. The consequences are bigger. The pain is deeper. Don't marry someone hoping it will fix your doubts. Fix your doubts first. Then decide. 8. You can't undo it. This is the hardest one. Amara would give anything to go back to that moment when Marcus's text came through. To delete it. To block him. To choose Daniel every single time. To never wonder what if. To be content with what she had instead of chasing what she'd lost. But she can't. None of us can undo our worst moments. We just have to live with them. Learn from them. Hope they make us better. Hope they teach us enough that we never repeat them. But the damage is done. The consequences are real. And all the apologies in the world won't change that. 9. Self-sabotage is real. Some people destroy good things because they don't believe they deserve them. Because they're afraid. Because they've learned to equate love with chaos. Because peace feels wrong. Amara sabotaged her relationship with Daniel because part of her didn't believe she deserved someone that good. Didn't believe love could be that easy. Didn't trust that he wouldn't leave eventually. So she left first. In the worst way possible. If you recognize this pattern in yourself. If you find yourself destroying good relationships. If you push away people who treat you well. If you're attracted to chaos. Get help. Therapy isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. Because you'll keep repeating the pattern until you understand why you do it. 10. Choose growth over guilt. Yes, Amara messed up. Catastrophically. But she had a choice after. She could have stayed stuck in guilt and shame and self-hatred. Or she could have used it as a catalyst for change. She chose change. And it wasn't easy. It took years. Tears. Hard conversations. Painful realizations. Uncomfortable growth. But she came out the other side different. Better. Not perfect. But better. And that's all any of us can hope for. To be a little better than we were yesterday. To learn from our mistakes. To choose differently next time. To break the patterns that break us. If you're reading this, or listening to this, and something I've said is hitting too close to home, let me be very clear. If you're about to cheat, stop. Right now. This second. Whatever text you're about to send, don't. Whatever meeting you're about to set up, cancel it. Whatever lie you're about to tell, swallow it. Whatever justification you're crafting in your head, abandon it. I know what you're thinking. It's different for me. My situation is unique. I'm just confused. I need to know. It's just coffee. It doesn't mean anything. What they don't know won't hurt them. No. Stop. Those are the exact same lies Amara told herself. And look where it got her. You already know this is wrong. If you didn't, you wouldn't be hiding it. If you have to hide it, it's wrong. If you wouldn't want your partner doing it, it's wrong. If it would hurt them to find out, it's wrong. There are no gray areas here. No exceptions. No special circumstances that make it okay. If you're unhappy in your relationship, talk about it. Be honest. Go to therapy. Work on it together. Or end it honestly. But don't cheat. Cheating doesn't solve anything. It just creates new problems you can't take back. If you're having doubts, that's normal. Everyone has doubts. Choosing forever is terrifying. But doubts are a signal to pause and reflect, not a signal to sabotage. Talk to your partner. Talk to a therapist. Talk to trusted friends. But don't use your doubts as an excuse to betray someone. If an ex reaches out, block them immediately. Don't respond. Don't engage. Don't convince yourself it's innocent. Because it's not. Exes who reach out when you're in a committed relationship aren't doing it out of kindness. They're doing it because they're bored, or lonely, or curious, or they want to know they still have power over you. Don't give them that power. To anyone thinking what they don't know won't hurt them. Yes, it will. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But eventually they'll find out. They always do. And the pain of betrayal is so much worse than the pain of honesty. If you care about them at all, be honest. Even if it's hard. Even if it hurts. Even if it means they leave. Because they deserve the truth. And you deserve to live without the weight of that lie. To anyone who's already cheated, you have two choices. Tell the truth, or end the relationship. Those are your only ethical options. You don't get to hide it and continue. You don't get to play happy couple while carrying that secret. You don't get to take away their choice. Tell them what you did. Let them decide if they want to stay or go. Give them that agency. They deserve it. To anyone in a relationship right now, guard your heart. Not in a paranoid way, but intentionally. Set boundaries. With coworkers. With exes. With friends. With anyone who makes you feel things you shouldn't. Delete numbers you shouldn't have. Block accounts you shouldn't follow. Create distance from situations that could become tempting. Choose your relationship every single day. In big ways and small ways. Because commitment isn't just a feeling. It's a series of choices. And you have to make those choices consistently. If you're bored, that's normal too. Long-term relationships aren't constantly exciting. They're not supposed to be. Find excitement in other ways. New hobbies. New experiences together. New adventures. But don't create drama to feel alive. Don't blow up something good because it feels routine. Routine is a gift. It means you've built something stable. Don't destroy stability chasing chaos. Remember, the guilt doesn't go away. You think it will. You think once the initial shock wears off, you'll move on. But it doesn't work like that. It stays. Late at night when you can't sleep. When you see happy couples and remember you used to be one. When you realize you traded something real for something that never existed. The guilt stays. And it should. Because what you did matters. Who you hurt matters. The trust you broke matters. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't. To anyone who's been cheated on, I see you. And I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve it. It wasn't your fault. You weren't boring. You weren't inadequate. You weren't lacking. The person who cheated made a choice that had nothing to do with your worth. Nothing. They could have had a conversation with you. Could have been honest about their doubts. Could have worked on the relationship or ended it honorably. They chose betrayal instead. That's on them. Not you. You deserve someone who chooses you. Every day. Without hesitation. Without doubt. Without looking back at exes or wondering about what-ifs. You deserve someone who values trust. Who understands that commitment means something. Who wouldn't risk losing you for anything. That person exists. I promise. Don't settle for less. Final thoughts. Amara's story isn't unique. This happens every day. People destroy good relationships for fantasies. Chase exes who treated them poorly. Sabotage stable partnerships for intensity. Mistake chaos for passion. And they all think the same thing. It'll be different for me. It won't. The pattern is predictable. The consequences are real. The regret is permanent. Learn from Amara's mistake. Don't become a cautionary tale. Don't be the person who looks back 5 years from now and thinks, I had everything and I threw it away. Choose better. Choose honesty. Choose integrity. Choose the person who stays over the person who makes you chase. Choose peace over chaos. Choose commitment over curiosity. Choose the future over the past. Because some decisions can't be undone. Some trust can't be rebuilt. Some relationships can't be saved. And some regrets last forever. Don't add to that list. In closing, it's been 5 years since the wedding that never happened. Amara is 33 now. She's married to James. They have a daughter, a home, a life built on honesty and choice and real love. The kind of love that isn't always exciting, but is always. If this story hit you, share it. Someone you know needs this warning. Subscribe for more real stories. Comment what hit hardest. And remember, one text can destroy everything.